All right. We live? We live? Ooh, looks like we might be live. Let me check. I'll probably check. About to go live here for a little bit. Happy Sunday, y'all. Okay, so that doesn't work. Hold on. Papa's got it figured out. You just wait. Yeah, we're live. Yeah. Says live. Says, yeah. I haven't live streamed in, God, so long. It's been several months now. I think the last time I did a live stream was WrestleMania. Papa's got it figured out. All right. Yeah, we're live. We're good. We're good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be live streaming here on YouTube. I'm going to simultaneously live stream on Instagram, but since I can't link them both at the same time, it'll be two different streams. So it's going to be really shit. It's going to be really, really shit. But I'll make it work. I will make it work. Ba-ba-ba. Happy Sunday. So I don't know where I'm going to set this up. I could set it up right there, but I could have one hand on the camera right here. You can't see it on this camera, but I could have it right here. I can do both at the same time. Hold it with my penis. Okay. Oh. It won't let me. That's so lame. That's actually fucking lame. It says my account is not eligible to live stream. On Instagram, that is. Let me see if I can get my. Hold on. I'll go off screen for a little bit. Am I eligible now, mother? I'm about to screw up my entire Instagram. It won't let me go live on Instagram. That's so fucking gay. What the actual shit? Wow. Instagram is like, it's dog shit to me. It really is. It treats me like crap. All because I criticize big noses. I criticize big noses, and this is what I get. So lame. Fuck. Well, I can chill out here. I can chill out here. I saw a fucking stupid meme. Oh my god, Instagram fucking garbage. Garbage. Absolute trash. Giving me problems like that, man. Well, I got this pulled up. Might as well whip out some audio files for y'all. Because I had some new music that I'm working on. So I could probably, let's see. I don't want to play anything that I haven't, like that I, oh shit, where is it? I don't want to play any music that like wasn't my creation. Like I bought beats from some people for my upcoming project, from my upcoming album. But I don't want to play their music just yet. I want to play the music that I made. I want to play the beats that I made. So I got Star Wars: A New Hope on my television right now, but keep it at pretty low volume so I don't get hit. But we're gonna play this song right here. Let's see if it sounds good. I actually totally forgot to check the fucking audio. Check. All right, I think we're good. That's one I call Omega Man, based off the film Omega Man. And see what else I got. So that was one I made like in 2018, a long ass time ago, long time ago. Yup. So I do Heir to the Throne, one of my upcoming projects. Oh shit! I accidentally turned it off. That bass is gonna sound so fucking hard in a speaker. Actually, hold on. All right, I'm gonna rewind it. I'm gonna see if I can't. I'm gonna give y'all a preview. Fuck it, I'm feeling generous today. I'm feeling generous, so I'm about to give y'all a fucking preview to that. Let me see right here. Turn it just a little bit. Actually, we're still live. We've won the culture war, but the Iron Age is coming. I feel it in my bones and it's seeping to my stomach. The world is on fire and the darkness is abundant. The old guard is dead, cause without us they'd be nothing. These legends broke so many records, sound like broken records when they jump up on a pedestal and preach another message. These phony big steppers been phoning in ledgers, but they're too scared to notice that I'm the daredevil. They're selling their... Oh shit, rap. These microaggressions are just micro obsessions. They like typo pecking in your high school confessions. I tell them like Taika when I jump on the mic. I ruin your whole mythos if you play your cards right. You go down in my comments, I go down on your wife. And she didn't say your name, so I'm gonna be here all night. Cause I'm country rap killer, outlaw spitter, mouth all fizzy from the South Paw hitter. David Allie Poe of the boom bap picture getting rocked like Dwayne Travis Scott goes missing in the South. My mission is to... Yeah, I need to check on my breath for that one. Y'all got Munchausen syndrome. I don't miss like Alec Baldwin's finger when I'm filming. Been hearing people talking about Drake and Kendrick, but I ain't impressed cause neither independent. Yeah, I need to work on my breath for that one because I'm gonna be like taking a lot of breath for that. I just wrote that a couple weeks ago. Heir to the throne, you ain't gonna make it home. We were born flesh, get remembered by stone. Heir to the throne, you ain't gonna make it home. I'm building up my castles and they're made out of bones. Back to basics, I'm a killer basket case. It's fascinating, congratulations. I shouldn't say that next part just yet. I'm gonna keep that next part. Yeah, bro. I wrote that a couple weeks ago. Oh shit! I found. So y'all, some of y'all might know, some of y'all might not know about Dirty D Sanchez. That's an interesting thing. I might. I'm not ready to expose Dirty D Sanchez just yet. Not ready to expose Dirty D. But yeah, bro, I'm starting to write a lot more. Starting to get more done in terms of music. Yeah, because I'm working on my next album. Working on my next album. I wish I could freestyle some of these, man. Oh, I really want to do the. Really want to do the Silk beat. This fucking fire, bro. My homie Silk, he created some pretty awesome instrumentals, and I bought a few from him. I'm so fucking ready to do them. I might, you know what? I could probably do. I think I could do Training Day. Let me see. Let me see if I can do Training Day. So that was Heir to the Throne. Damn it, man. Damn it. Where you at, boy? Doing this one with my homie, Wee Milla. My boy Josh, I've known him since high school. It ain't about what you know, it's about what you prove. This life ain't giving you shit, so what you gonna do? And he come in on this next part. And then this would be his verse right here. So actually what I'm gonna do, skip forward just a little bit because his verse goes on for a bit. This life ain't giving you shit, so what you gonna do? This will be my verse right here. Crazy white boy with a big old pistol, about to cock it back and rock it like a missile. Can't afford shit except socks and a pencil. About to hit him up, Tupac in a rental. Bitch, when I'm broke, I'm more ballin' than you. I jump in the booth and I give you the flu. These viral infections transmitted through flexing, cause bitch, I'm from Texas like rednecks on Netflix. Yeah. I forgot this part. I fucking forgot what I wrote here. This puppy's no smoky, the Tupperware full up with nuggies and funnies. I'm running the gauntlet, you watching my throne. My crazy partner got eyes on your home. I fucked up, bro. I fucked up. I forgot what I wrote. But I have it down somewhere. I have it down somewhere. My mama told me that nothing is free. Gotta live or die if you want to be king. It ain't about what you know, it's about what you prove. It's like I'm giving you shit, so what you gonna do? You jump in on the next part. King Kong ain't got shit on me. I fear no man that's swayed by greed. I fear no man that starts to bleed. Gotta protect the wolf. Oh yeah, fire. Yeah, it's like, gotta protect the sheep. Gotta be a wolf to protect the sheep. Bro, I write my own lyrics. My freestyling is not the best. It's not as good as it used to be. All them medications done did me in. But I write my own lyrics. I mix the beat. I take it to a studio so an engineer can mix my vocals and master the track. And then I'll just put it on distribution, bro. Just put it on distribution. Oh shit, what happened? I made a mistake. I boomered. I did a boomer. Nah, no worries though. I'm probably going to be on for, I don't know. We'll see how long I'm on. Because I'm just like, I'm just chilling today. That was just for fun. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something. Since we're live, I don't often go live. I'm going to do something. So I'm going to cover a few topics. I'm going to do that because I'm on OBS, so I can make it work. And we can discover some things. We can discover some things and have some conversations. But I found this. Take a look at that. Black powder candy. If you can believe that's candy. It says on the back that there's, nutritional facts about it. I found this while I was moving shit around. So the story about this, it's cane sugar candy, right? So the story about this is I was on a vacation trip with my grandparents back in 2018. That was back when I was pretty fucked up. My brain was not in the right headspace. I was not doing so great in college, but I just got out of high school. And so I didn't know how college worked. I didn't know what I was supposed to be getting into and what I was doing. And so it was a really fucked up time for me. And it felt like I was in my own head and I was no friends. Nobody was there for me. I mean, I wasn't like, addicted to drugs or nothing. I mean, it felt like I was because of all the, medications I was taking to ease my brain. But, I didn't do anything that got me in trouble, but like I was alone. I was, I don't want to say I was homeless. That's an exaggeration. But I don't feel, there was a time where I didn't feel like I had anybody, right? And so, I went on a vacation trip with my grandparents and they went from Houston to Texarkana to Louisiana, to Arkansas, in that little Texarkana triangle right there. And we visited old Confederate history museums, cotton fields, a lot of kudzu, a lot of down south stuff. Because my grandpa really wanted to see it, and so I went with him. It was just myself and my grandparents, and we drove the whole time. It was fun. It was a nice little road trip, and I like road trips. So we went to a museum. I don't know if it was a Confederate museum or something, but I got a lot of cool stuff from there. I had like a gavel. I got a gavel upstairs. I had a black flag. I got a pirate flag. It's pretty fucking badass. And I got some sugarcane candy. And so another trip that I went on with my grandparents was to New Mexico, to Roswell, and to see the Carlsbad Caverns. Fucking awesome. I love that. But I discovered this while I was cleaning shit out recently. And I'm like, I totally forgot that I even had this and I never ate it. So, I don't know. I'm thinking about eating it on a live stream today. So, sugarcane black powder candy. I thought it was a fucking joke. I thought it was like, this shit looks like football field turf. It doesn't look like the kind of thing you should eat. So I'm just like, I'm wondering, should I eat this? Should I hold on to this? I mean, I don't know if it expires. It doesn't say it expires anywhere. It says remove fastener completely. Packaged in Canada. Gay. By Cyrus Wakefield Incorporated. So it's a product in Canada. They moved it here to sell it in Confederate, museums or something. Should I eat this? I don't know if I should fucking eat this. It's probably fine. It's probably just like black licorice or something. But, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how long I go on the stream before I eat it. But let's go exploring. We're here. We're live. Let's go we can go explore the internet. Wouldn't you all like to explore the internet with me? Let's go explore the internet. Oh, look who that is. We are live, boy. We're going to go to Instagram. You're about to see all the crazy shit. I'm not going to show you all my messages. Y'all need to see none of that. Here's my buddy Chewy. Let's take a look at this.
Fuck your democracy, dying off slow. Nobody free till they buried alone. I know you heard what I said. You can't ignore me, I'm cracking your eggs. How come my taxes are funding the feds? Why is the president touching my legs? Fishermen can't even get off the boat. Blowing up children and flexing the coat. Fuck your democracy, dying off slow. Nobody free till they buried alone. I know you heard what I said. You can't.
So Chewy's a friend of mine. And I was there when this music video was filmed. I was there. I was sitting right in the front row. And, Chewy's free to speak his mind. I've never been against him. He's always been a friend of mine. I've known him for more than a decade. And I made music with him. And so I think, personally, in my opinion, and I love Chewy. In my personal opinion, I think there's some things that he completely gets right. I think he understands a lot, and I think he gets a lot of things right and on the nose. And I think some things not so much. Not saying that he's an unintelligent person. I actually think he's very intelligent. But even intelligent people can, miss the ball sometimes. Like, even what's it called? Like a broken clock is right twice a day or something like that. But I still love Chewy. I still support him even if he hated me. Even if he made an entire song that I completely disagreed with, right? No, I'd still support him. Because he's my homie. So, that's how I feel about that. Here's Forrest Smith. So, Forrest Smith and I, we have quite the history. Quite the fucking history between us. And we're cool now. We're very cool now. But before it was like, I was ready to battle him. I was ready to drop, a diss track. I was ready to go. I was ready to battle him, bro. But let's take a look at this.
You see that picture?
We're going to go down real quick and come back up. I didn't do anything.
You see that picture? That right there. That's a camera, motherfucker. You're all going down. You're all going down. Keep fucking with me. Guys, I found a breakthrough. I found a breakthrough. And I have 100% proof that all these people are out to get me. They didn't think that I was watching them the whole time. But look, you see that picture? You see that picture? That right there. That's a camera, motherfucker. You're all going down. You're all going down.
I know exactly what he's doing. And funny enough, I haven't even looked at one of Edward's stories lately. I am so disinterested in anything that man has to say that I just don't care. But I see what Forrest is doing. It's fucking funny. I good on him, man. But I cannot for the life of me. I can't find any reason to give a shit about what Ryan says anymore, bro. I just can't. It's just beyond me giving a shit anymore. So I moved on. I unfollowed him on Instagram. Probably going to unfollow him on YouTube. But let's check out these memes. Shout out Forrest Smith. He's a good dude. Spent 3 minutes watching you place that trap on the ground, smear its teeth and shit, and cover it with leaves, and now you invite me to stand on it as if I'm a fucking retard. Fuck you. Right? So that Sydney Sweeney thing. Face of a leftist woman who isn't being told no. Yeah. I am so proud. I'm so proud of Sydney Sweeney for standing up to fucking freaks like this, bro. We say Zimbabwe now, don't we? Do we? Oh, shit. Right? Right? You're supposed to apologize for existing. Those days are over. Boom. Boom. Hey, look, we can have both. We can civilly have both. Okay? Both are preferable. I have great genes. You mean jeans? Oh, these memes are perfect. Stares in superiority. At this point, the left created more racists by being racist. The left was like, you're white, so you have to bow down. You are inferior. You should be kissing our boots, you slave owners. And we're all like, we had nothing to do with it. That was a long time ago. We do not share the same values as them, and we do not share the same values as you. So you just created your own worst enemy. And it didn't even have to be that way, bro. Would you like to apologize? Do you even care about being a good person? It was so crazy how this woman was like, you know, I would like to give you the opportunity to submit yourself to our will. And Sydney was like, nah. So fucking based, bro. West Side Gun held a full wrestling event at Six Flags. Heels Have Eyes 3. Interesting. I'm not going to play. I don't think I'm going to play any music. Because I might get hit. That looks cool. That looks cool, bro. If I could hold a wrestling event with my influence, bro, I'd fucking do it. I'd fucking do it. That's badass. That's the goal, man. That's the goal. Yeah, fucking, these people are posers. These are rebellion cosplayers. They're posers. A giant list of rules. No sexism, no racism, no ableism, no ageism, no homophobia, fatphobia, transphobia, no hatefulness. Fuck off. So gay.
Send this to some nigga who's acting retarded. Send this to some nigga who's acting retarded. Send this to some nigga who's acting retarded.
I love Brittany Venti. I love Brittany. She's great. She's so fucking funny, dude. Brittany is so fucking funny. She's like the funniest woman. And women aren't even that funny. She's the funniest of the women. I met her in Dallas. I met her at the F&T Dallas meetup in 2022, I believe. Had to have been 2022. That's when I met her. She was nice. She's so fucking funny, dude. Oh shit. Did it freeze on me? What the hell? Okay. I was worried my screen froze. I think Instagram just froze. I was worried that the whole stream got screwed there. We were just going to start looking through all the memes on Instagram. Oh, shit. Let's go to YouTube instead. I already did this shill review right here. We're going to take a look. Okay, so we're going to watch this. So my buddy, I mean, he doesn't like we're not like close or anything. We're not buddies, but I am a fan. I'm a fan of D-Day Cobra. I send him super chats. I've met him before. I've talked to him before. But I'm a frequent visitor of
Build a website you love with Wix.
the D-Day Cobra live streams. And so I'm a huge fan of Jeremy. And yeah, much respect to him. We're going to react to Kanye Got the Call. And I saw this, and I was fucking furious. I was like, oh, shit, we're about to get, we're screwed now. But let's take a look at this.
Legitimately thought this was, I'll be honest with you, I legitimately thought this was AI. But Kanye West met privately with rabbis.
It doesn't look very private. If they're exposing this like out in the open like this, it's not private. And I'm fucking so disappointed. I really am. It breaks my heart. It really does.
And expressed profound remorse for his past statements concerning and about the Jewish people. I swear I thought it was AI, bro. I thought it was AI. But it's legit, all right? Kanye is a trip, bro.
He really is.
I feel really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just take accountability. I was dealing with some various issues and dealing with bipolar also. So it would take the ideas I had and have me take them to an extreme where I would forget about the protection of the people around me and myself. So
I might see Kanye at a Mossad meeting now.
I wanted to.
Disappointing. You can't put faith in anybody, bro. You can't put faith in anybody but yourself and God. God is the only thing that you can put your faith in. Yeah, this fucking sucks.
I'm to take accountability. Sometimes with, people aren't that knowledgeable about the bipolar and the cause or what causes it and the way you act when you have this disease. So it's like.
Yes, correct. Nick Fuentes says that Kanye is one of his idols. He loves Kanye West. He worships Kanye West, not literally, but he calls Kanye a genius. And Candace Owens loves Kanye. So I can't wait for their reaction to this person that they say is a genius.
To be fair, Jeremy's on point with this. Like, I think Kanye is definitely a disturbed individual. I've always kind of thought that, all the way back to like the Taylor Swift thing. But I never thought that he was wrong about this particular issue. I was always on board with that. And I agree with Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens on it. However, I believe it's very easy to get consumed in the anti-Israel circle because of the broken derangement of the world and the fact that all ties lead back to them. It's easy to get consumed by it and lose objectivity because it's the ultimate conspiracy theory. Now, I'm not saying that people like Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens are 100% wrong, because I agree with them on pretty much almost everything. Almost. Because when I say almost, there's a lot that they are like out of touch. They forego things and, forego evidence and forego, proof that, other things contradict their world beliefs, their beliefs. And so they refuse to acknowledge any other opposing sort of narrative because to them, they're locked, focused on Israel, the Jews. And so I believe that there are, you got to call balls and strikes a lot. And Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, as of late, have not been able to do that. Now, they're right about a lot of stuff. I believe they are right about almost everything. But what they are not right about in some respects, you can tell, it shows in their attitude, how they respond to it, how they would get a little bit more aggressive and be, oh, well, you're just brainwashed by the Jews. It's like, no, I'm looking at this objectively. I'm looking at this specific thing objectively. Like, for example, when the anti-Israel crowd supports Muslims and Islam and defends Islam and Muslims and says that they're similar to Christians, there's a lot of similarities. There's also a lot of differences. And it's easy for you to be all anti-Israel and support Hamas. This isn't just leftists, by the way. These are conservatives. These are America First people who are doing this. That will defend Hamas because they are so anti-Israel. And it's like, well, are you saying that since Islam and Christianity are so similar that, the people in Nigeria that the Nigeria genocide is just Israel propaganda? Like, is that what you're saying? Because I don't believe that shit at all. I believe the genocide of Nigerians, the Christians in Nigeria, is a legit thing that's happening at the hands of radical extremist Muslims. So these people who are so anti-Israel they can't even call out Muslims, they're out of touch. They lose focus of what's going on. And so for me, I say let Islam and Judaism wipe itself out. I could really give a shit because I'm a Christian. I'm more advocating to take back the Holy Land. I know that's probably a radical extreme belief, but I don't think that land belongs to either of those ideologies. I believe it belongs to followers of Christ. That's just my hot take that would probably allow me to never go to the Middle East. But basically, man, like, these anti-Israel people can lose touch very instantly. So you have to take some of that with a grain of salt, and you have to look at things objectively. You have to call balls and strikes, which is something that Jeremy is very good at. And not just because he's gay.
You left the house, and you left your kid at the house, and your kid went and messed up the kitchen and messed up the garage and messed up the living room. Now when you get back, it's your responsibility because that's your child. And that's the way I look at it. It's like, I got to go clean up the kitchen, I got to clean up the living room, I got to clean up the garage. Yeah, and it's
I'm not gonna watch the rest of this, but it's again, when I first saw it, I did think it was. I was like, this has got to be AI. This has got to be AI. There is no way Kanye West is doing this. But yes, right? It's real. I mean, I haven't seen any community notes. I legit thought that this was. I was like, there's no way this has got to be AI. But yeah. It's not, to me, it's not surprising, like, because it's Kanye. Like, Kanye is Kanye. He's nuts. He's always been like this.
Yes.
I mean, I like some of his music, but, like, we're talking about the guy who literally became the South Park meme that South Park created. So the backstory is, if you've never seen the South Park episode with Kanye West, there was this joke within the show that I can't remember who. It's been so long now, so I might be fuzzy on the details. There's a joke that was created in the show, and the joke was the greatest joke of all time. And the joke was, do you like fish sticks? And then you answer, yes, I love fish sticks. And then you respond, do you like to put fish sticks in your mouth? And then you go, yes, I love to put fish sticks in my mouth. And then you respond, you're a gay fish. Ha ha, everybody laughs about it. And the joke in the show is that everybody, it brings the world together. Everybody loves this joke. It's the greatest joke in the world. The one person in the world that couldn't get the joke was Kanye West. He couldn't understand the joke in the show, to the point where Kanye was so confused with the joke that so many people kept asking him about the joke that he eventually became a gay fish because it made him believe he was a gay fish. In real life, Kanye couldn't understand the gay fish joke. It's amazing. Like, you can't write this shit. You can't make this shit up. So in real life, Kanye could not understand the gay fish joke. It's amazing.
It really is. It's incredible how that played out, dude. That's
There's a clip of him. There's a clip of him talking about being a gay fish, like in real life. Hang on.
The most racist thing a person could tell me is that I'm supposed to choose something based on my race. If that was the case, I wouldn't have never wore a pink polo. I wouldn't have never wear skinny jeans. Everywhere I go, people pants smaller than mine. And I'm the one who, you eat fish sticks because I had skinny jeans on.
Is that real? Like, somebody tell me this is fake. This can't be real.
It's real. That's a real interview, dude. That is a real interview. Oh.
This can't be real. This has to be a meme. There's no chance. This can't be real, bro. This has got to be a meme.
You eat fish sticks because I had skinny jeans on. The most.
Oh, man.
Morning, Pete.
That's Kanye. That's Kanye for you, man. They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. That song's kind of fire, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Let's see, what else we got in here? We're gonna check out some of these videos if we can. I'm gonna see what's the most interesting that I want to watch. A lot of political stuff. Oh shit, Jeremy's live. He's in his fucking truck, isn't he? He's in his truck. That homo. You know, just saw that. Let's look at some wrestling content. Here's some wrestling gifts. I actually like his content. I don't always agree with him, but I still think he's got some pretty good content. So let's take a look at this.
The matches, the drama, more drama, even more drama. 2005 is easily my favorite year in wrestling history. It was a year that had everything. The matches, the drama, more drama, even more drama. Stars were made, shit went down, and as someone who was 7 years old at the time, it was simply perfect. 2005 was also 20 years ago. And before there was Twitter, Instagram, or Reddit, if you wanted...
Has it really been 20 years? It doesn't feel like 20 years. But it definitely was, I'll say that.
To talk wrestling online in 2005, you went on online internet wrestling forums. And just like today, they had their favorites, they had wrestlers they hated, they reacted to pay-per-views, they had predictions. Everything we do now, they did back then. So I thought, why not go back in time to one of the most beloved years in wrestling history and see what the hell were the fans saying on the internet in 2005. And spoiler alert, not much has changed. Let's start off with a post from December 31st, 2004, titled "What Keeps You Tuning In?" And the first reply goes, 1. What else am I gonna watch? 2. To criticize it. 3. Because I am delusional about the past and how wrestling was good. I keep hoping that it'll be better. 4. At least WrestleMania will be good, so I should watch what is leading up to it. And 5. Oh, my father is a shareholder in the WWE. First of all, who is this, Shane McMahon? Second, I love how this was the attitude during 2004 and 2005, years that we look back at with such fondness. Like, I would sacrifice my unborn child to go back to 04 and watch wrestling. Meanwhile, these guys were living it, and they're just like, yeah, no, I miss 1998.
A Chewy order is on the way for Hunter.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. I wouldn't sacrifice my unborn child, but shit.
down, but at the end of the day, you got to see Eddie Guerrero do his thing. You had Eugene putting in work. What more do you want? But this just shows you that the cycle never ends. Wrestling fans are always going to miss the past. But let's move on to a post from January 6th, a post titled The New Era. This thread is hilarious because the main post is a user basically mentioning how a lot of people online seem to hate John Cena, but how he's actually a perfect star for the company and how in 10 to 15 years, people will still remember him, etc. Meanwhile, in the comments, these motherfuckers hated Cena before he even touched the title. 1. Cena has been declining in popularity steadily for the last year. 2. His is not a main event gimmick. 3. He has not shown the skills required to be the next big thing. At the moment, he's a two-dimensional gimmick relying on cheap pops in both promos and in matches. When he gets more rounded as both a character and in the ring, then we'll talk. 4. At the moment, Orton, Batista, and even Bradshaw, JBL of all people, are ahead of him as regards most of the reasons you gave in your post. I couldn't believe my eyes. They were talking about John Cena like he was Danny Basham or some shit. Declining in popularity steadily for the last year is an absolute insane statement, but just when I thought things couldn't get worse, how dare you? Orlando is the next big thing in professional wrestling, and I kid you not, mark my words, Orlando Jordan will be WWE champion. He'll have some good promos while he's at it too. So in other words, the new era equals Orlando Jordan, not John Cena. Bro, what? Orlando Jordan? Who was on crack? Orlando Jordan in 04-05 was one of the most useless wrestlers I had ever seen. I'm pretty sure that most people watching this who weren't watching back then have never even heard of Orlando Jordan. Nah, man, these online fans despise Cena. Meanwhile, I was like the biggest Cena fan you could possibly imagine at the time, but it's so funny how in the alternate universe online, this is all you see. I mean, come on, pushing a rapping, I don't even know if I can say that, to the main event.
I can, Wigger.
That'd be like pushing the Road Dogg or something. Hell, at his peak in 1998 or so, Roddy was probably just as over as Cena, if not more. What kind of drugs were these people on? What SmackDown did they watch? Now, luckily, there were some people that defended him, but it's insane to see how in early 2005, before he ever was a #1 contender for the Mania match, before anything, it was just like, screw this guy. And honestly, while we're at it, how do you think the internet wrestling fans reacted when Cena changed his theme from basic thugonomics to the time is now? You know, the theme we hail as one of the most iconic themes ever. Cena's new theme sucks. Fuck Cena's new theme. Y'all got it, man. Royal Rumble 2005 predictions. Randy Orton wins Rumble, moves to SmackDown to take title away from Show. I would have stopped watching wrestling. I am so serious. If Big Show versus Randy Orton was one of the WrestleMania main events, I would have run away from home. January 13, 2005. Cena to win the Rumble, takes title away from JBL, and gets drafted to Raw. Okay, all right, we got Nostradamus over here. This is actually a really cool prediction because there were no rumors or a guarantee of a draft in 05, and obviously Cena didn't win the Rumble, but that's kind of what happened. So you know what? Props to him. Triple H plus Batista equals the worst WrestleMania ever. Do wrestling fans ever like anything? Now, this prediction though was absolutely hilarious. Hopefully we don't have something that has been done to death like Orton and Batista falling out at the same time. Yeah, it's time they thought of something original. No, don't you worry. Cena and Batista will both fall out at the same time and it will be unintentional and then everything will be a mess and the owner of the company will come out and tear both of his quads while making an announcement. Is that original enough for you? I just know that homie was watching the Rumble live and when they both fell at the same time, he was just like, oh, brother. Little did he fucking know. It's so cool seeing this live thread with their live reactions from Rumble 05. Before there was live tweeting, these were the guys spending their Sunday in 05 watching the Rumble on TV and then reacting on their Windows XP desktop in an online forum. And here we are analyzing it 20 years later. Quote, 3 spears and no count? Wow, HBK has just killed that move as a finisher once and for all. Oh, don't you worry, Edge will get that shit back in blood. How could they do this again? Oh man, they did the Cena Batista out at the same time deal. Did Vince hurt his leg getting in the ring or what? Great, Vince's first appearance of the year and he pulls a Triple H. At least it wasn't his quad. No, it was actually both of his quads. You know what's crazy? I had no idea that there were actually rumors that in 2005 Kurt might retire, and it was very well known and very widespread. His neck was really messed up, he was in rough shape. A lot of people, as crazy as it sounds, genuinely thought he was gonna die, and many thought that his WrestleMania 21 match against HBK was gonna be it. It was gonna be his last match and he was gonna retire, and a lot of people understood it. Angle truly was a ticking time bomb at that point. So much so that later in 05, he actually put out a statement saying, guys, like, I'm healthy, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me, and nobody still believed it. But on a much lighter note, it is hilarious to go back in time and see how much these internet fans hated Randy Orton as a face in late 04 and early 05. They were talking about him like how we talk about modern day Jey Uso at this point. They thought he was the most overrated, biggest bum in the company. And honestly, that Undertaker feud changed his life. If it wasn't for that feud, I wonder what would have happened to him, especially if they kept him as a face. Quote, an I Quit match between JBL and Cena, worst idea ever. Alright, that's just fucking stupid, let's be real. But the good news is once that match did happen, a lot of the online wrestling community did start to respect Cena for how much he bled in that match. So as many of you guys know, CM Punk recently just won the world title in 2025. He main evented night one of WrestleMania last year or this year. Over his career, he definitely proved to be a draw and has definitely left a huge mark on the wrestling business. But do you ever wonder what the reactions were when he first got signed? The truth is, CM Punk has always been an internet darling. We know this. But the way the company was ran in 2005 is much different than how it was ran in 2015 and 2025. There was no guarantees that Punk was ever going to be a main eventer. No matter how beloved he was on the indies, no matter how much talent he had, the 2000s were infamous for talent getting signed and then just getting treated like idiots. And it's so crazy to see the reactions of Punk getting signed because instantly everyone just thought about the possibility of Triple H burying CM Punk. CM Punk was signed and all you see is, I'm glad for Punk. Now get him the hell away from Triple H and things could be sweet. They were talking about Triple H like he was Osama bin Laden. Fans were doing prayer circles hoping and praying that CM Punk would never come across Triple H on television. I really hope he does sign and gets along with Trips because we all know Hunter doesn't mind jobbing to his friends. Good luck to Punk. Isn't that insane how much the Reign of Terror truly cooked people's brains? And you can't even blame them. Shit, I would have been terrified too. And the wild part was they weren't even wrong. Triple H definitely got his lick back even though it took 6 years. Man came out of retirement to beat CM Punk 2 months after the pipe bomb promo. What?
I was there. I remember. I made my piece about Triple H in a video, so y'all go check that out. But yeah, Reign of Terror is a real thing.
What are we doing here?
Take the next step in treating your moderate to severe.
Fucking ads, bro. Hate me some ads.
But the most fascinating part was there was also a poll about where will CM Punk's career end up. Will he be a main eventer, a Hall of Famer, a jobber, etc.? The answer will directly correlate to how much Triple H likes him. But now the poll was fascinating. 33% of the votes predicted Mick Carter and 25% predicted jobber. Only 4 people out of 54 thought he would be a Hall of Famer. Probably lower Mick Carter, maybe get an IC US title run at some point, but that's about it. I hate to say it, but I think this guy's probably going to be another jobber. IC champ at best. I don't see him making it past the mid-card, and his stay there will be brief. He needs a name change. CM Punk seems to be very overrated. However, I have no problem with him getting an IC US title if it will keep the Smarks quiet for a while. But hey, there are obviously still some believers. Punk has what it takes to be the next big thing. He has a killer character, cuts great promos, and has the psychology in the ring to get the crowd to eat out of his hands. Nah, this homie definitely knew. You guys remember when SmackDown was taped the same day as a terror attack in London and they decided to run this angle the same day and decided to air it on Friday even though they could have removed it? Yeah, you guys remember all that? You know the angle that led to Muhammad Hassan getting kicked off of SmackDown and released from the company? Yeah.
And never to be seen ever again. Poof. Gone. Undertaker legitimately chokeslammed him into irrelevancy. I remember.
That angle. Well, this poster was asking the important questions. So, who were the hooded men who made Undertaker their bitch? Terrorists.
Fucking terrorists!
So in 2005, we had the infamous Matt Hardy, Lita Edge, real-life love triangle situation, and in early 05, Matt was fired from the company, which, by the way, imagine your girl cheats on you with one of your coworkers and somehow you're the one getting fired while you're injured, by the way. Nah, somebody's dying. But after a few months in June of 05, after Matt exposed everything to the internet, the WWE decided to bring back Matt, and the way they brought him back was so insane, so crazy, that nobody knew if it was real, if it was a work or a shoot, yada yada yada, the usual stuff. But the angle was so hot that, believe it or not, for a brief moment, everyone was behind Matt Hardy, and honestly, people thought they could have made him into a huge star. He was out here getting Stone Cold level pops. God damn, that was awesome. I think a little bit of a shoot and a little bit of script combined. So can WWE be successful in making Matt Hardy into the next Stone Cold? I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta realize how much momentum Matt Hardy had at this point. They could have genuinely made him into a huge star. Because what was wild was Matt during this time was still wrestling in ROH and was now pulling up on Raw doing this shit. It had everyone going crazy. I'm so happy Matt is going to be at ROH show in Dayton. Damn, I better get tickets. They might sell out now. Matt Hardy, a draw? Holy fucking shit, that was awesome. I so wish I had seen that live on TV. I need to get satellite so I can watch them live. Wow, I didn't think the most users ever online record was going to be broken that soon. Dog, 2005 Matt Hardy had motion. And it was hilarious because people were analyzing this like it was a JFK assassination. But how did the story end for Matt Hardy? Did he go on to become the Stone Cold of a generation? No. Edge beat his ass and showed him who the real star was.
You think you know me?
And before you know it, later in 05, you go online and all you see is a post like this. How long does Matt Hardy have left with the WWE? You know what else hasn't changed since 2005? The Rock honey-dicking wrestling fans for WrestleMania every single year. Yes, this goes back to 2005. While promoting the feature film Doom, Rock told this website that he might make an appearance at WrestleMania 22 in Chicago, but would not be wrestling. He, of course, did not make an appearance. I can't believe it that this guy's been doing this for 20 years. But okay, to finish off the video, let's talk about a thread about a show that was actually in 2006. But, you know, I think we're all going to agree that this thread is fascinating. It's from December 2005, and the title is, Who Will Be Champ After New Year's Revolution? So this was after it was announced that there was going to be an elimination chamber at that pay-per-view for the title, and with 33 votes and 68% of the votes, Cena won the poll. Kurt Angle came in second with a measly 6 votes. And what are the comments like, you may ask? I would love to see HBK winning, but it's not going to happen. The way Cena's been booked lately, they'll wait and have him come into the chamber last with everyone still left, and he'll eliminate them all with the FU and the STFU. Quote, Cena, damn it. Cena without question. I also wouldn't be surprised if he eliminated every opponent. Unfortunately, Cena will win. If any of the others do, I'll eat my hat. You can sense the depression through the text. That is the crazy part. But okay, to wrap things up, I know this video is about 2005, but might as well sneak into January of 06 and see how the internet wrestling community reacted to New Year's Revolution 06 unfolding, aka the worst night of my life. Shit, double roll-up, Cena wins, sad face, sad face. That was a ending. Oh wait, here comes Vinnie Mac. And boys and girls, the rest is history. Next thing you know, the forum goes crazy, loses its mind. Edge wins, Edge, holy shit, Edge. Good lord, ladies and gentlemen, your new World Wrestling Entertainment Champion, Edge. I would take Edge any day of the week. Pause. After Cena kicked out of the first sphere, I thought he was going to do a big comeback and beat Edge. Glad to see he finally lost, and now we can get rid of that stupid belt. Yeah, you wish. Edge won what? What was there a match? How did it all happen? Edge is a new champ in the most best exciting ending to a pay-per-view in 06 and maybe history. I mean, it's the first pay-per-view 06, but I get your point. On this day, I see clear. Edge, that's awesome. Like, everyone just loved it. I marked out for the finish. That was great booking. I don't like Edge, but I would have cheered for Lucifer if it meant ending the god-awful Cena reign. Edge better have the most standard title around his waist. The spinner looks silly. What happened? Poor guy. Hyper Chord 24 has no idea what's happening. How long was the Cena match? Edge better than Cena at this point. Edge cashes Money in the Bank and ended the reign of terror. Nice booking twist. Now everyone was going crazy, just Edge, Edge, Edge. They're so happy. They're celebrating. It was like Hitler died. This was like their greatest night of their lives. And it wasn't just on this forum. If you go to the other forum, just look at how everything went. It went from being normal questions like, oh, Shane McMahon news, Mama Benjamin is boring, happy birthday, and then out of nowhere, obligatory thread of cheer. Edge is undefeated at WrestleMania. Too many threads about Edge and Cena losing. So what is everyone going to complain now? Attention, please. Spinny Bell, how should it go? The NYR ending. I claim this day Edge Day. Oh God, you can't defend this. This is not an Edge threat. Oh my God, Edge, LOL. Edge spoiler. But handsome Taylor eats kittens. I'm sure that has something to do with Edge as well. But no, these guys went crazy. On the obligatory thread of Edge cheer, oh my God, yay Edge, Cena loses, Cena loses. I'm giddy with glee.
I think y'all get the point. Good video. I think it's going on now. Dragging out a little bit for me. Let's see if I can find a shorter vid. Yeah, wrestling fans, they can be crazy sometimes, man. But they're the most passionate fans, like, ever. And I wouldn't have it any other way. There's a lot of these videos I do want to play, but probably can't. Yeah, probably be best if I didn't. Let's watch this real quick. I want to see what this is about.
You sell it, we ship it.
watched
Put
any
the
of
strength
this
of
guy's
Amazon
content.
behind your business. Transparent rates and delivery.
How's mom is a big, fat, stupid...
Hey, Paul! And I'll invite Sarah Palin out to dinner, then nail her. Fuck yeah!
Why is everything so gosh dang edgy these days? What the blazes is going on here? I just want to watch something wholesome. Some pure heart.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
I'm gonna go read the Bible.
So today we're going to talk about the word edgy, a term that once meant bold, boundary pushing, and refreshingly different, a term for art that was unflinching in its vision and didn't really care how it came off. If you're like me and you're thinking of something edgy, you're probably thinking about something like Fight Club or early South Park. But that doesn't seem to be the case for everybody. The term's gone through a pretty major tonal shift through media discourse over the years. When the average person thinks edgy, they're most likely thinking of something like iDubbbz spamming the N-word or Superman carelessly demolishing entire cities. It's seemed to become an insult for anything seen as try-hard or things purely made for shock value. And I don't necessarily think that's fair. Some of my favorite content I've ever consumed is edgy, and the fact that online discourse seemingly wants me to feel bad about liking edgy content is disheartening. The truth is, there's so much amazing edgy-ass content out there. We have films like Fight Club, which has been labeled as edgy for its anti-consumerist message, its brutal masculinity, and psychological intensity. But at the time of its release, it felt rebellious and important. Then there's American Psycho, which was largely polarizing on release, but to this day it's admired by so many for its daring tone and violent satire.
Try getting a reservation at Dorset now, you fucking stupid bastard!
And the film's only like half as messed up as its novel counterpart, which is also largely popular. And these films were both incredibly edgy, but by edgy I mean fearless. And the same could be said for television. South Park was, is, and hopefully always will be obscenely edgy.
How would you like to suck my balls?
Constantly pushing boundaries for what's even allowed in animation. On my favorite episode of the show, possibly my favorite episode of television period, Cartman feeds his bully his own parents as a bowl of chili.
I call it Mr. and Mrs. Tennerman chili.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This was in 2001 on cable fucking television. I genuinely thought I was going to get in trouble just by having this on my TV. Like my mom was going to bust in any moment and turn me over to the authorities. And as far as South Park goes, it being edgy was and has always been its appeal. It's willing to tackle any topic regardless of how off-limits society deems it. And following South Park's footsteps, this boundary pushing continued through stations like Adult Swim, whose claim to fame is also edgy content.
I'm committing vehicular manburger helper.
If you're anywhere near my age, you stayed up way past your bedtime to watch these shows. Shows like Squidbillies, Home Movies, and The Nightmare That's Moral Oral. The reason we turned these shows on late at night is because of how wild and uncensored they were compared to traditional television. And it felt like these shows were applauded at the time because they were pushing boundaries, constantly trying something new and bold. If we contrast that to today, we're going back and deleting episodes of shows that went too far by today's standards 15, 20 years ago. And before you come at me for just glamorizing the past, yes, we still have shows like The Boys and Invincible, but first off, keep in mind these are both based on comics written in the early 2000s, and while I do think they're doing a good job with Invincible, The Boys has been largely sanitized from its comic counterpart.
1,000%. 1,000%. I am so disappointed in how The Boys came out. I like season 1, but after season 2, shit was dead. The Boys sucks now. And it makes the comic book look bad. It really does. It makes me not like Garth Ennis. And I actually do like Garth Ennis. I like his work. I like what he did with The Punisher. I like Preacher. But the adaptations make me fucking hate it. Which is saying something.
And we haven't even touched on music yet. Back then, we had artists like Marilyn Manson and Eminem who were frequently labeled as problematic throughout the 90s and early 2000s due to their controversial lyrics and wacky aesthetics. Yet today, we look back on both of them as cultural icons.
At Wells Fargo, we get it. Carlo started his business to obsess over things like basting, butter basting.
Like, why is it we look back fondly on Marilyn Manson doing this? But Sabrina Carpenter implies a little bit of rough sex on her album cover and it's the end of the fucking world. And don't even get me started with comics. The late 90s and early 2000s were the heyday for edgy comics. They fucking rocked. We had Garth Ennis at his best with Preacher, filled to the brim with blasphemy, ultraviolence, and sex, just seeping in pure nihilism. But underneath all that edge and chaos, it's a story about faith, love, and freedom. It's incredibly shocking, yet heartfelt at the same time. And then there's Transmetropolitan, Warren Ellis's foul-mouthed cyberpunk fever dream that somehow predicted the world we're living in now. It's filled with drugs, corruption, and filth, but beneath all that grime is a furious heart that beats for truth. It predicted the rise of clickbait journalism, influencer culture, corrupt politicians masking their cruelty as charisma, and a public too distracted to care. Spider Jerusalem was a walking middle finger to apathy, a drug-addled, chain-smoking journalist who still believes in keeping people and corporations accountable.
You're about to watch me do it. Boom.
A perfect example of how media can be vulgar, profane, violent as fuck, yet still be deeply moral. And the reason this is because edge isn't just about being offensive. And these are just a couple examples. There's countless other edgy comics from this era that prove this. The Invisibles, The Boys, 100 Bullets. But obviously in an ecosystem where everything is making an attempt to push boundaries, some will just be edgy or try hard for the sake of it. Mark Miller is a prime example of a writer who pushes boundaries just for the sake of being mean-spirited or cynical. And I just want to emphasize, I'm not here to just glamorize everything made in an attempt to shock its audience. There's definitely artists out there, be they directors, writers, musicians, that don't have the nuance required to tackle these subjects without poisoning the well. Zack Snyder.
I will fucking...
Sting. That is some sting right there. Don't forget James Gunn. If you forget James Gunn, then you're not doing your job properly. Sorry, bro.
Kill you.
And while obviously everything wasn't perfect, I do think it's worthwhile to appreciate this era between the 90s and early 2000s simply due to the sheer amount of boundary-pushing content.
Did I mention I love Sin City? One of my friends back in high school, he was a football buddy of mine. I was on the defensive line, he was on O-line, and he was always one guy. He was a fucking brick wall I had to go through on defensive line. And he lended me Yellow Bastard from the Sin City, the Frank Miller Sin City book. And I read Yellow Bastard. It was fucking great. And so he was one of my comic book buddies back in the day, man. And so, yeah, I love Sin City.
Going on at the time. It really felt like artists weren't so concerned with how it would look if they decided, hey, let's turn Jesus into an inbred idiot. Let's make a movie about people being sexually aroused by car accidents. Let's make a song about shoving a gerbil up my ass. Why were all of these great artists, movies, and shows culturally allowed to be edgy back then, but nowadays if you push boundaries a bit too far, you're considered an edgelord loser? Am I saying I want all content to be hyper-violent and crude? No. I just want more art that's not afraid to be what it wants to be. So much of what I see these days feels so sanitized and calculated, and I just want more things that just don't give a fuck.
I'm about to stand up because I'm sitting on my balls, but I'm still listening, so.
So how did we get here? Well, let's see if we can find out together. I'm sorry, it smells like shit in here.
Right?
Need a courtesy flush. So I think to understand why edgy content worked so well in the past, we have to understand how peak edge was achieved. Edgy as a concept didn't just appear out of thin air. Really, it's just the media equivalent of sneaking out of the house and getting drunk at your friend Brandon's house, specifically because your parents asked you not to. It was born out of rebellion. Every era that's been considered edgy was really just reacting to whatever the norm was before it. Back in the 80s and early 90s, mainstream pop culture was colorful, idealistic, and safe. Movies ended with a freeze frame and a smile. TV sitcoms left us with a moral lesson before each credit roll. Even music, outside of a few punk or grunge outliers, were largely dominated by pop and hair metal optimism. So the new generation of artists started asking, what if we made something darker? What if we stop pretending like everything's okay? I guess we could kind of say Edge is really a form of honesty in the media to an extent. We can even take a look further back and see it in a ton of classic films. Taxi Driver, A Clockwork Orange, Blue Velvet. These films dared to show the rot surfacing below modern life. But it wasn't really until the 90s that edgy themes stopped showing themselves occasionally in art house rebellion and started becoming mainstream. We as an audience started wanting things that pushed boundaries, things that made our parents uncomfortable.
Yes, I do think it's in bad taste.
It was everywhere. MTV was pushing boundaries with shock humor and provocative music videos. Comics as a whole were turning darker. Spawn, The Crow, The Sandman, Watchmen. They were redefining superheroes as violent, broken people.
So I will say this. Crow is good. Spawn, fucking awesome. Even though I do think that the HBO animated Spawn series is far better than any comic book ever created about it, and the movie as well. Watchmen, I like Watchmen. I just hate Alan Moore. I do like Watchmen. I'm not a huge fan of Sandman either, because, I mean, aside from Neil Gaiman being a fucking freak, I was never that big into Sandman, right? It was just not for me. But Watchmen, I liked Watchmen, and I still do like Watchmen. I just fucking hate Alan Moore. I can't stand Alan Moore.
I mean, look at most of the early Image comics and you'll find stuff you've never seen in the previous era. You could see it in video games. They were becoming more and more violent, crude, self-aware. And to top it all off, the internet was giving a platform to every taboo, dark joke, and cynical thought people have had bottling up for all these years. The 90s were a perfect ecosystem for Edge to thrive. The economy was strong, culture was stable, and people were getting bored of being polite. So artists said, fuck it, we're changing the rules. And that's how we get something like South Park, which has Cartman being probed by aliens in the very first episode, becoming a mainstream hit. Or Eminem, who built an entire career insulting every celebrity or politician worth mentioning at the time. And being edgy at the time wasn't just about shock. It was a sign of authenticity. If you were being edgy, you were being real. It was a sign you were real, raw, unfiltered. Yes. Are you fucking kidding me with these little rabbit turds, man?
Nasty. Nasty. He's not wrong. That's part of what made those edgy contents back in the day so appealing, is because it was authenticity. Now I think he's probably about to dive into the fall of Edge, the inauthenticity, the rage baiters, the people who are out there to content farm, to push the algorithm, which I can appreciate that. I really can. This might be the part of the video where he loses me, but I can appreciate the content and I can appreciate the rage baiting, but there's, as long as you're doing it to have fun and you're doing it to have some sort of cultural commentary, I don't see any problem with, being a rage baiter and, but there's a line to be drawn, right? And I think definitely there's been a cultural shift since 2016 where the edginess started to die down through progressive ideologies that were coming in the woke era, right? And because of that, we were policing ourselves and we were policing each other about what we could say so we could no longer be edgy. And anything considered edgy was fascism. It was racism. It was sexism. It was homophobic misogyny. It was like all sorts of crazy shit to kind of scare you into not being authentic anymore, to scare you into submitting to the state, submitting to the higher power, which is basically whoever was in charge of your government. And funny enough, we flipped. The morality of the conservative movement became the new taboo. And the progressive woke culture of the left became the new standard, the new mainstream. And so now people who are just like saying, yeah, I want to get married, I want to have kids, Christ is king, I want to own a house, people should be allowed to love each other and live together. That's considered edgy, cringe, and not allowed. It's bizarre how that works. And there's more racists being created as a result. More people are being more edgy towards more problematic and, dare I say, dangerous views because of the toxic culture of the woke left. And because they were all like, well, you are not allowed to say that thing. You're not allowed to go out there and speak your mind and your opinion. So now people are overcompensating in response. But let's finish the rest of this video.
Plot quieter, I'm trying to do something.
Goodbye, Dorothy. Bye, Dodo. It's just that one road
Wow,
all
this
time.
movie looks so unappealing. I will not be watching it.
But just like every counterculture movement before it, be it punk, grunge, whatever, Edge eventually went mainstream. You could tell the rebellion phase was over when rebellion started getting sold back to us. We had stores like Hot Topic, which turned counterculture into mall fashion. MTV made eyeliner and angst into a business model. Movies like The Matrix and The Crow inspiring entire fashion trends. Eventually, every brand wanted to look rebellious and sound dangerous. We even had Garth Brooks dropping a rock album at this time under an alter ego, going incognito with a soul patch and guyliner. The Grammys started handing out awards to Eminem, and Marilyn Manson's face was plastered on 13-year-olds' lunchboxes. Edge wasn't rebellion anymore, it was a marketing gimmick. But that's the funny thing about rebellion. It never actually dies, it just gets absorbed into the mainstream consciousness. Every generation has their version of fuck you to the world as it was before they came around. And every generation inevitably becomes the thing they once wanted to destroy. Punk became fashion, grunge became mall music. And I'm sure most people wouldn't even believe you if you told them Misfits was once a band and not a clothing brand. When everyone's trying to shock you, nothing's shocking anymore.
Exactly. This is why I keep saying the phrase cosplaying the rebellion. There are people I know personally, but I'm not going to say any names because I love them. People I know who are acting like they're being rebellious. They're acting like they're part of the resistance movement. They're standing up to fascism. They're standing up to tyranny and the authoritarianisms. And really what they're doing is being consumed by them. They're not saying anything edgy or safe, or they're saying things that are safe to say now that they wouldn't be able to say 5 years ago. It's cosplaying the rebellion. You want to speak your mind, but you're doing it at a time when it's safe for you to do it, where it feels convenient to you, right? Versus being authentic, being actually true about what you're saying. And it's almost pandering sometimes.
Once dark and twisted becomes the default, Edge loses its edge.
Yes.
So instead of a rebellion, we get a formula. The mature story where everyone dies became the new laugh track. So at this point, we're in a phase where edgy as a counterculture had become so prevalent it just became culture again. Everything was edgy and dark became the new normal. And not only that, this wasn't the same world it was 10 years prior. Throughout the 2000s and early 2010s, the world got a lot more bleak as well. Be it 9/11, war, financial crisis, an uptick in online culture, or a widespread institutional distrust. These all led to growing cynicism in our society, especially among young adults. Realism became synonymous with darkness. And all the while, the media continued to get grittier and more serious. Most popular shows became things like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead. Our version of Batman was grounded in realism. He wasn't in fantastical Gotham anymore. Instead, he's in Chicago and has perpetual strep throat.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
And while none of this is inherently bad, the success of these things created a formula that's been followed for years since, and that formula is, to be taken seriously, it needs to be violent and grim. You couldn't just tell a story. It had to end in misery or shock or a twist so bleak it felt profound. Audiences didn't want catharsis, we wanted to suffer because it felt real. So we said, fuck it. Let's kill Ned Stark. Let's kill Batman. Let's kill Carl Grimes. So in a way...
To this day, I still fucking hate that decision. Ned Stark had no problem with it. This, killing Carl Grimes, single-handedly killed the fucking Walking Dead franchise. Single-handedly crashed one of the greatest TV franchises of all time. Shit like that needs to be documented and studied.
What was initially perceived as edginess became the default aesthetic for mature media, which in of itself took a lot of the weight away from the word. You could really see this shift play out in superhero movies, which basically became the battleground between dark and gritty and fun and sincere. The Snyder-era DC films went all out on grim realism with desaturated color palettes, a dead serious tone, and gods among men drowning in guilt. Meanwhile, we have Marvel over here cracking jokes mid-battle and pulling in billions of dollars.
Well, not this one. This one did not pull in billions of dollars. This one fucking flopped and lost money. But I get what you're saying.
And I don't even really think Marvel won because people stopped liking darkness. They just stopped liking the kind of darkness that felt performative. The irony of it is, the edgier franchise felt less authentic because the darkness started to feel like a costume. This was when I started to realize that Edge wasn't just about being violent or bleak. It was simply about being real. And as we move further into the late 2010s and 2020s, things continued to change. People were tired of everything being so grim and dire. We saw an uptick in shows with an uplifting message. We had Steven Universe, which celebrated emotional expression. We had Ted Lasso, which constantly shoves the message, kindness is strength down your throat. Everything Everywhere All at Once won an Oscar by showing how the most absurd shit you can think of can still be human and heartfelt. But it wasn't until I saw a little film you may have heard of, called James Gunn's Superman, that I really understood the cultural shift going on.
Tired of sifting through jobs that don't feel like the right fit?
I honestly thought he was gonna pull a banger on this one, but I'm starting to think I'm gonna wait and see the rest of this video. But as soon as he mentioned James Gunn's Superman, I'm like, fuck. You're not about to tell me that this is about edginess and like... Hold on. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to collect my thoughts. I'm going to wait until I see what he has to say.
Superman, we finally meet.
Superman is bright, it's hopeful, it's colorful. The entire point of the movie is that kindness is cool, and people seem to be loving that shit. After a decade of depressed-ass Batfleck and Superman snapping people's necks, the audience were saying, hey, maybe the hero guy can smile occasionally. And for someone like...
And not save Lois and get his ass beat several times and lose to the bad guy more than once. Can't even beat Ultraman without the help of his fucking dog. I'm sorry, no. No, I'm not letting that get a pass. Fuck James Gunn. Fuck Superman from 2025. Not Superman the character. Fuck this movie. Fuck James Gunn's Superman. Fuck James Gunn. He is just as edgy and he's just as bad as Zack Snyder. Because you know what followed up directly after this movie? Fucking Peacemaker Season 2, where everybody was Nazis. Where Peacemaker goes to an alternative reality where everyone was a fucking Nazi. No! No! I'm not letting this slide.
Like me, who really enjoys content that pushes boundaries and shocks me at times, I honestly felt more shocked by how honest and true to itself Superman was than anything in this.
You mean cringe and uncontrollably ADHD? This is the part of the video where this guy lost me. Okay. I have not seen this video before. I was curious about it. This is my first time watching it. I'm not going to be all... Superman is just as edgy. It's just as cringe as everything else. It's just got bright colors in it.
Snyderverse. We as a culture went from wanting media to stop glamorizing everyday life and being more genuine to everything being dark as fuck. To once again...
Honestly, I would rather Paul Kent do the... They don't understand the things I say on Twitter and then die in a fucking tornado than whatever this Harvey Weinstein hugging shit is. This movie made no sense. It did not win me over. Fuck James Gunn.
And demanding comfort and optimism. It's honestly cultural whiplash to an extent. But all of these extremes come from the same place. Exhaustion. Recently, audiences are tired of irony, tired of misery. They're tired of art that feels like it hates them.
Now, I know that I just ranted there and I was very aggressive with my rant, but that statement that he just said, I agree with. Exhaustion is a part of it. My rant comes from exhaustion. I disagree with him 100% on Superman, but I get what he's saying and I agree with the exhaustion.
So we've started celebrating kindness as its own form of rebellion. In Superman, they brought up this concept. What if sincerity is the new form of punk rock? Which, weirdly enough, is kind of edgy in this day and age. I don't know how, but somewhere in the middle of all these transitions, the word edgy just became a dirty word. So many words get thrown around these days. If you're too cynical, you're toxic. If you're too sincere, you're cringe. If you push boundaries, you're problematic.
Who are you talking to?
I don't like that the very thing that once defined counterculture or edge, which is taking risks, has a tendency these days to be treated like a character flaw. It feels like over the last 15 years or so, we don't reward bold as much. We instead reward safe. I hate to be the guy that always just shits on Marvel movies, but I mean, Exhibit A. Also don't want to just become the back in my day stuff was cooler guy. I've made plenty of videos like that, which is honestly kind of cringe already. But maybe that's just it. Maybe every generation has their version of edge. What was rebellious to one group is just a cliche to the next. It definitely does feel like these days we less often ask what if, and instead we ask, is this okay? And that makes me a bit sad. Because in my opinion, the point of edgy was never just to shock people. It was to be real to who you are as a creative. To make something that mattered even if it made people uncomfortable. And now people seem more scared to do that. And maybe that's partially why everything feels a little less alive, even outside of films, music, and comics. Or maybe not. Maybe sincerity is the new punk rock. Maybe edge isn't killing Jared Leto with an axe or lyrics about killing your drug addict mom anymore. Maybe it's just saying something honest with zero irony or making something that's overly messy and human in a world obsessed with polish.
Say yes to this cookware set and to a delicious pre-made holiday feast for those of us too busy to cook.
Chris
I'm gonna.
But even if that is the case, I don't think that means the old punk rock doesn't matter anymore. Well, since you made it this far, I'm assuming you enjoyed this video at least somewhat. So
I think he's probably about to go into promotion. Oh, yeah, it looks like he's promoting a comic. Well, that's interesting.
done by the humans on a barely livable wage. All the while, the all but obsolete humans live out lavish lives, cash.
Well, I'm not going to finish the rest of this video. I will say, great video, awesome work. I really liked it. I like his charisma. I gave it a like. I 1000% disagree on the Superman take. I do not agree with that at all. But the video was fantastic. Go check out his comic book. I don't know if there's a link in here or something. Y'all should go check out, subscribe to VHS Guy. I'm sure there's probably a link in here. But go subscribe to him. Watch this video. It's great. I still disagree, but that's how it is, man. That's how it should be. You should be able to disagree. So, anyway, we are, well, we're about, we are an hour and a half into it. So, it looks like, let's see if we can, we're still going. We're still good. Okay. All right. I noticed there's nobody coming up in the chat. I could be wrong, but I haven't been checking on the chat. I've just been making content and ranting, so, you know, so whatever. But, you know, I think while I'm here, so we're at that point where I'm about to call it in. I've had enough. I'm tired. I want to go do other things. I'm bored. But I still have black powder candy. So, actually, we're going to try it out. We're going to open it up. I'm going to see. So, we got the little logo tag there. I would have done this on Halloween, but I was doing other stuff. I was giving out candy and whatnot with my family. So, I don't want to dip my fingers into this because it looks like it could be something. So, let me see. All right. You see the bag, right? It looks like football turf. It's supposed to be black candy. It's supposed to be cane sugar candy that's like black powder, like gunpowder. And it looks like football turf. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to try and... It is like a little bit like black licorice. A little bit. You see. A little bit like black licorice. Hold on. You know, it's not bad. Actually tastes kind of good. I should have never doubted. It's pure cane sugar. All right. Okay, so I ate black powder. Sugar cane candy. I did it. I did it. I ate the black powder candy. It's pretty good. I mean, it's pure sugar. I don't know if it ever expires or whatnot, but it was good. It was good. I think we're going to call it there, though. Subscribe to Isaac of the Dead. Go check out my album, Culture War. I'm working on new music. And subscribe to my channel. And, yeah. I'll talk to y'all later. Oh, the threesome thing. Shout out to the two ladies that came over to my house. Real good time. Anyways, I'll talk to you.